Yeah, hi. So today, drawing an old Chinese gentleman with loads of wrinkles, which makes his face very interesting. Be using a lot of wet and wet technique for the background, and then filling in the details slowly using also wet and wet. But most of this painting has to do with lifting off. So you'll see that the colours that are put on very strong in the face later on, and they have to be lightened to give the effect of shadows and so on. So hope you enjoy this video. So the background's in, that will slowly dry and get some nice effects as the dark green blends into the light. I put a yellow undercoat in so that the green has got a sort of a warmer tone. Now I shall put in the colours for the face. As you see, I start with a dark mix at the top because his forehead's in shadow, and then bring it down and lighten it up as I go. But mostly the colours are much darker than they'll end up. And then, as I said, I shall lift off to get some interesting shadows. So now, using the edge of the brush with just water, I'm lifting off to create the folds in the flesh that he has on the forehead. I shall do this all over the face in the end, taking off the deep colour and then blending it to a darker stripe, which I might put in afterwards. Sometimes I just take the colour off, and this gives a nice soft effect, like creases in the skin. So this is very effective in portrait painting because the colours, they look frighteningly dark, but with water, assuming you're using the right watercolour paints, you can lift them off nicely and adjust the tone. So now's the time to start doing his beard and moustache. Before I started the painting, I put on masking fluid with a very fine ink tip, a filler that gives you a very fine line, and the masking fluid then will keep the paint off the paper like very thin white hairs, because this man's got a grey white beard. And then I just use a very weak solution of neutral tint mixed with a bit of indigo blue, something like that, and just washed it over these masking fluid stripes, and just use the water to create shadows. And then when the paint is dry, it takes a little bit of time, I shall rub the masking fluid off with an eraser, or you can use your finger, and then the hairs appear completely white and fine, which is a bit too strong, so I go over them a little bit again with a very thin solution of the colour I'm using here, that gives the effect of a grey beard with shadows and so on. So it's very effective. And I also put a couple of little points in the eyes to keep a highlight there. I didn't use any masking fluid on the teeth, I just left them free because they've got quite a large area, and I shall paint them individually later on. Yeah, so now it's time to put some detail in the eyes. We talk of eye white, the eye whites, but no eyes are actually white. So you'll see most painters actually go over most of the eye with the colour of the surrounding flesh. Sometimes a little bit darker, sometimes mix a little bit of blue to give a shadow effect. And as I said, I protected two very small portions because it's nice to get a highlight in there as though it's a reflection. But you can also do that with white gouache afterwards. But I like using the rubber solution, so that's what I'm doing here. I believe this man comes from Afghanistan. Many of these men and women have wonderfully blue eyes despite their dark skin. Gives a very interesting effect, his eyes, when the painting's finished. He really looks at you. Yeah, so here's the reference photo. As you can see, the light is very effective on his face, lots of shadows, and his cap and his shirt and so on fit to the green background later on. So just to check there, let you see the photo that I'm working from. Yeah, painting's finished. Forgot to turn the camera on for the last bit. But as you can see, it's all worked out rather well. So quite pleased with this. Hope you enjoyed it.